Hello, and welcome to The Stars Are Aligned podcast with Travis and Sterlann Brown, where we discuss relationships, parenting, and pretty much any other topic that comes across. Tonight, I think we were going to discuss conflict resolution.
Yes.
As you can see, I've got on my Bears shirt.
No, they can't really see. They see Star Wars.
Okay.
And an Ewok.
Yes. I'm wearing my Bears shirt. She's wearing her Packers gear.
The Packers gear. Clearly.
Okay. She bought both of these, so that's the clearly. But tonight's topic is conflict resolution.
Yes.
And how you can get along with somebody who you're obviously diametrically opposed to, despite all logic and reason.
Yeah. And that actually is how we started with some of our conflict resolution was you were always a Bears fan. I was never a sports fan. Even though I played basketball and I was a basketball superstar in high school, but no, we'll talk about that some other time. I definitely didn't like football, but because he was so gung-ho about football, I just happened to pick
the team on the screen at the moment
that had my sorority colors, which is green and yellow.
If the Seahawks had been playing that night,
I would have picked them. I love those colors too. But anyway, so I picked it. I bought all kinds of gear. So I've got my earrings. I have shoes. I have shirts. I have shawls. I have earpods. Green Bay Packers. I don't even know anything about the team. I don't know anything about football. I thought all this time that the little circle that follows them was like really on the ground. I have no idea, and it just pisses him off when my team wins. And I'm like, I knew that. Of course they won, but I really don't have a clue. So that's kind of one of the things that we did for fun, as like a challenging, a fun challenging thing. Because I don't know anything about football, but I will sport the apparel.
Yes, she will.
Yeah. But the whole idea is with conflict resolution, I think it's really important that couples do not do or say things to antagonize or poke the bear intentionally.
Oh, now she brings up bears.
Poke the bear intentionally. I've always said that it is great to have a healthy relationship, and a healthy relationship may include and does include disagreeing with things. It's how you resolve it that really makes the difference.
Right. And I mean, let's face it, we're both human. We both kind of like to be right. I mean, before this podcast, we were Googling fact-checking each other.
I didn't use to fact-check him, but I started fact-checking, and
she still finds out I'm right. She just has to get proof and supporting evidence to know that. But that's fine. That's fine.
I find out that he's wrong.
Sometimes.
And of course, his whole family thinks he's the smartest thing since the encyclopedia. But I'm here to tell you, he doesn't know everything.
No, I don't.
Or even half of everything. He knows a lot. Because that's what really turned me on was your brain. That was like amazing. I love his brain. He knows a lot more than the average Joe. But I've taught you a few things, and you taught me a few things. So we love to learn from each other.
Yes, and honestly, like I said, I mean, we're human. We're gonna dig in. Our egos are gonna kick in an argument, and at the end of the day, you just gotta respect the other person as a person. You may never, ever, ever agree with what they're into or what they're trying to talk about.
Exactly.
But you can sit there and say, okay, well, you know what? We can leave this argument right there, or we may or may not come back to it, and just don't like follow the person around trying to make sure that your point is made or heard, or you have your shower thoughts 20 minutes after the debate, and then like, oh no, wait, I'm gonna get her with this one. No, just if you're done talking about it, be done talking about it. And honestly, like on Ollie and my Uncle Huey told us, don't go to bed mad at each other. Please don't.
Well, we try not to.
Yes, it makes life a whole lot easier if you do not go to sleep mad with the person who you're sleeping next to.
Right. And we know each other's routine when there's a disagreement. We've never really had any fights. We don't physically fight. We don't call each other out of each other's name. We don't curse at each other. But we know when it's gotten, we need to cut it off. You know what I mean? I think our kids have really never seen us argue. I think one time they sensed the tone, and I think Riley was sitting there and he said, I don't think I should be listening to this. I remember he said that one time, and that's when I knew, like, oh my gosh. But as long as they know that it's a healthy conflict, you know, they're going to, our children are going to experience controversy and adversity.
Right, there we go.
Okay. See, that's what I need them for. And we need for them to know how to resolve it without losing their cool, getting out of character. Because as we all know, our children usually
watch everything.
They watch everything. Body language, everything. They know our routine. But they also mimic their parents as to who they fall in love with. Usually. So a lot of times when you see some of these girls are in these abusive relationships because they've seen their mother in it, or if a guy is with a woman who doesn't care about her family life and is out there lollygagging, and that's because a lot of times they've seen their mother doing it.
I know how old you are, but how old are you? I mean,
what do you mean?
Lollygagging?
Lollygagging. Shenanigans.
Okay.
Thingamajigs.
Well, them Knickerbockers played the other day. Good Lord.
So, you know, you want to make sure that you are providing a good example of a healthy relationship. One thing my father taught me was how to argue, which was one of so many life lessons that he's taught me. And I share this with other people, is that, let's just say, for example, you always leave your socks on the ground.
I don't.
Which he doesn't.
It's an example.
And right next to the hamper. Instead of going to you and saying, Travis, I can't stand you doing this. You always do this and you never help me and I can't. You start out with a more positive tone and positive statements, because when you start attacking, then the person that you're talking to doesn't listen. They're already in their mind thinking of, how can I attack back? But when you start out with positive statements, then they're willing to listen because they know that there's affirmation in their efforts, and they're more willing to accept what you have to say. And it's actually a proven fact. It works.
I'll say it works for you. I was taught more of the debate. You know, bring your bring your arguments. Because my dad told me a long time ago, don't increase the strength of your voice, increase the strength of your argument. Bring more items to the discussion that you're having to prove your point, to prove
Why
your
do you
case.
have to prove your point?
Because it's a discussion and we're trying to figure out what we're going to do and thus plan. So why wouldn't I bring facts instead of, I don't know, nothing to my argument?
But if it's a disagreement about feelings or an experience,
I can't.
I
cannot feel for you.
I'm not asking you to.
Then how am I going to know what you're feeling exactly?
Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay, now see, we're going to start something here, because I ask her, why is she feeling that way? And she cannot tell me.
Because he wants dates. He wants times, he wants Your Honor.
I want to know why you were doing that, and you don't know.
Because it's a feeling. If I say, well, this made me feel, You want to know when was the first time you ever felt that
No,
way?
no,
What time
honey,
which were you
honey,
doing
tell the
on the
truth.
night of?
Tell the truth. I ask you, what is making you feel this way this time, or for this incident? I don't sit there and ask questions that you're saying. I don't ask when was the first time you felt that. I'm not your psychoanalyst. I'm not trying to get you in the chair. I am literally trying to
Yes,
ask
he's getting
you.
me in a chair. He's getting me in the witness stand.
I am literally asking you, what is making you do this, that, or the other thing?
But how frustrating is that I can't just speak without having to be interrogated?
How frustrating is it when I ask a question, I can't get an answer for 45
The answer that
minutes
you're happy with.
I can't get an answer.
No, you get an answer.
No. It says, I don't know. I'm not going to. Now, that's about as deep as our arguments get. That's as frustrating as it is. And we both know when we've hit that line, it is time to end it. And yes, there may be some cool off time.
Because he knows, but the 12 years that we've been married, he knows that my defense mechanism or my cooling mechanism, yes,
her whole process
is to just disconnect, not totally disconnect, but more of a
just avoid.
And I'll just go, not go out the house, but I'll just go in a different room. I don't really speak much because I feel that words hurt and you can't take back words. And I may have, and it takes me time to realize what was said, how it was said, how you may have received it. I think if I respond fast, because I know something's not going to come out right. And the last thing I ever want to do is hurt my husband's feelings, because I can't change that.
And again, once it gets to that point, I let her have that space. I'm not trying to. Oh, and another thing,
right?
And another thing, and I also don't bring up the argument again to use against her in the next disagreement or whatever.
Yeah, he may wait about 3 months to do that.
No, what have we re-argued in 12 years? What have we gone over again? What ground have we covered?
We actually did it a couple days ago. I brought it up. I actually brought up something we had a discussion about maybe about a week ago.
Noted. I don't do that to her.
I didn't do it to start the argument again. I did it to give him a suggestion on how my recovery period would be shorter, because he knows it takes me about 3 days. Truly, it takes me about 3 days, like clockwork.
The whole 72 hours too. Just don't come at her at 68:53.
Unless I'm extremely horny, and which has happened, I will break that silence for the night. But I think I brought that up to mention to you, well, if you would just say you're sorry
for not getting the answer I wanted, or an answer at all, but okay.
Travis never says I'm sorry. Never. Ever.
No, I can rewind it back to the part of the tape where it says you don't use never and always and all
But we started out with positive things before we got to this point, right? So I'm still
we're
playing.
We're going to leave it there.
My method still works. You heard me. But you never say you're sorry. Is that like a thing? Is that like a childish?
I've asked you, what do you want me to apologize? And again, I'm stonewalled as to what I'm apologizing for.
So like I explained to him, he may not be, I'm not expecting him to apologize for wrongdoing, but apologizing for my feelings and the way they were involved. Because somehow, because it was just us two, you made an impact on how I felt. So it's more of a, I'm sorry this has happened. That's it. I'm not saying you did anything wrong, but it will reduce the amount of quiet time. I'm just saying. And it doesn't even have to be words, even though I would like to hear that once in a while. But it could be something like a touch.
Mm.
Be
And
good,
see,
baby. Be
okay,
good.
this is that Mars Venus thing going on because this is just the fact that two people react differently to the same stimuli. And again, conflict resolution says you got to deal with the person you're dealing with in the way they want to be dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does she get everything she wants? No. Do I get everything I want? No. But there is some give and take. There's some compromise. And at the end of the day, it's really all about respect for the person that you're dealing with.
Exactly. It's all about the respect.
No matter the bad choices that
they make, right? I think a lot of times when there are things that may rub me the wrong way, I tend to pick my battles and realize how much I appreciate all the good stuff. There's so many good things that I can be appreciative for instead of focusing on that one little thing that may have been like, So I can erase it and be like, that's not even worth the...
And I've told her this who knows how many times, but I'm here. I'm not trying to keep score. I'm not trying to tally who's winning this whole thing. I'm just here to keep track.
Score. I keep track.
Keep track because
his definition of track is parentheses. You'll see score.
Remembering what it is we're doing, and then making not going down the same path the second time. Changing something in the process to make sure that we don't reach that point again, which is kind of why we don't really rehash old arguments. We're done and dusted and we're gone with it. But if we're doing the same thing, I will say, hey, I'm just going to change course a little bit. Don't mind me over much.
Yeah. Because we've seen couples who have fought dirty. In front of their kids, in public, out with their friends. It's just uncomfortable to watch. Talking down. I would never talk down to you or discuss some of your shortcomings or your faults. I would never do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
In a nasty way. Maybe in a jokingly way we do that. But
yeah.
That we mutually, can laugh at. But people just really
just dig in.
Below the belt. I just couldn't even picture sleeping next to that person.
But like I say, I don't live in your house. I don't know where you keep your forks and your knives. Whatever makes you happy. So
yeah,
I'm trying not to judge you, but I'm keeping track
because we love peace. We love peace. We love us as usual.
Right.
And we love our methods. Can we improve on some of our methods? Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to start this podcast, is to actually get information and feedback from other people or other couples as to how they experience things that we talk about. And that kind of helps the opening up that dialogue to either think differently or think differently.
Or do differently.
Yeah.
Because one of the things we constantly do is, like, I'll tell her, like, hey, I don't want to take it for granted that what we were doing before is still working for you now. So is there anything that I need to do to
that he does
change up and switch up, just to make sure? Like I said, I like steak. I like steak a lot, but that doesn't mean I need steak every day just because she knows I like steak. Sometimes it's like, hey, let's try some salmon. Let's try some gumbo. Let's try some Mediterranean dish.
Right.
Let's do something else different. Not just assume that what has been working is the only thing that can work.
And we know each other's triggers as to what the other person really doesn't like or doesn't make them feel comfortable. So if I know he doesn't like my wild friends, I'm not going to ask him to come around my friend that's extra, because I know that's not his thing. And I don't feel bad. I'll just go by myself. He understands that.
Yeah, and I know she'll be back, so it's not like I
Yeah.
got to worry about it.
Yeah. We've never tried to change each other
No,
ever.
no.
Hmm.
And well, no, there was that one time I kind of had to,
Oh
honey,
my God!
don't
Remember that?
don't cuss this lady out
Oh
here
my
in
gosh!
public.
And let me tell you, he did this so nicely and honorably. We were at a restaurant, and the server was like, I think picking up our stuff, or either giving our check
Almost,
as soon as we got our food, and I was kind of offended. I'm like, we're not even finished eating. And it was just so rude to me. And I he could hear my tone in my voice, and he could. I don't do the neck thing, but you could hear that in my tone.
The steam was coming up to a boil.
And he looked at me. I think it was just your look
Yeah, and
that was like, check me.
I said, please don't do this because
Yes.
we are in public and
Yes.
it's not going to be
He
free.
respectfully checked me. And I know sometimes I need to get checks. But he does it so well. I know he does it to not embarrass me, but to keep my dignity.
Keep it civil, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Because any situation can go left at any time. And we're into peace and tranquility, so whatever we can do to help keep that going.
Because even like when we were in the hot tub yesterday, you started talking about some controversial stuff. And I'm like, honey, Zen, we're in here for peace. And he nicely just stopped that
I just
conversation.
stopped talking about
So
it.
I'm like, this steam, the wine, we don't do that in the hot tub. This is not the form for that. So we just need to keep it that way.
Yeah, and honestly, we were talking about should we, try and plan out our discussions on, relationship, business, personal, the kids. Should we kind of separate those discussions? And I mean, we agreed not to do any kind of planning, but we don't want to get them too mixed up as we're talking about it, especially depending upon setting. Like you said, the hot tub is a space for not that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be in the middle of making love and he's talking about the kids' grades. That's what I mean about separating.
Oddly specific.
That's what I mean. Like, let's separate. There's a time and place.
Doing that, but okay.
I remember.
The kids' grades. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I was hearing things, but but that's your quirkiness, babe.
Mm.
And speaking of quirkiness, I think I made a statement to you the other day that, yesterday I think it was, when I said you didn't have any game.
Mm.
It was something we were talking about. I was like, babe, you don't have game.
Mm.
And today I was cooking dinner. And he walks over to me and says,
"You got something on your chin."
And I was like, "Oh, he was so cool." I mean, I felt like a groupie. So it was just so warm and unexpected.
I'm sorry, who you been a groupie?
I'm your groupie, babe.
Okay.
I just felt I felt like a young girl, like somebody was really that I've always adored. Finally paid attention to me. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that, babe.
You're welcome.
Because you had game that time.
Okay. So it's something that can be learned, which is fine. But again, she wasn't trying to change me by telling me that, I had game. She wasn't trying to tell me to get some. Because
it wouldn't be you.
Right. It's just something throughout my day. I was like, she's looking cute over there.
Yeah, I wasn't even expecting it.
So there you go.
I mean, he was even candid enough yesterday, or maybe it was today, because my body was hurting me yesterday. And he said he was staring at me while I was in the kitchen, and he, staring at me all admirably. And I guess I started walking away from the sink and limping.
No, you were limping away. There was no
like an ogre, because my knees were hurting. And he said, "Oh, all of a sudden he heard womp womp womp."
Yeah,
what girl wants to hear that?
It was a Price is Right loser button sound effect. It was.
But I wasn't offended. I think I probably would have felt the same way.
Because you were laughing about it. I mean, our goal is to grow old together, and we're getting there faster than we thought we would.
Yeah, we can't wait to grow old. He talks about how he's gonna chase me around in a nursing home with
walker, scooter, don't matter, replaced hip. All our options and shit.
And I know we'll have it because look at your parents. Because look at my parents too. My dad still thought he was the Mac even right before he died. But like your mom, when
see, she gonna start a migraine here in a little.
I love you, Mom. I love you.
But go on.
Okay. We made these wedding CDs, and then your dad was in the scooter,
Right.
and so your mom called, I think a couple days after the wedding, and said, "Oh, I just listened to the music on your CD," and she said, "Well, tell your husband he may have a brother or sister coming."
Yeah.
Because we had all these great love songs on there. And it was just so funny because I could just picture.
No, don't stop.
I could picture the chase, not the act, but the chase, and I thought it was hilarious.
Please don't.
But your mother she still thinks she's got it going on. I love it. I love it.
Oh, I'm not mad if she thinks she's got it going on. I just don't want any proof, evidence, or even discussion of her got it going on. But that's just me. I know for a fact that she got down at least one time after I was born, and that's all I can put up with. So.
Yeah, you never want to know what your parents are truly doing. God forbid, when we get older, all the stories we're going to tell our kids, they may go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Right, yeah.
We're going to tell our grandkids all the secrets. Come here, young fella. Let me tell you how Grandma got down.
See how she has that practice that
I got it all master plan.
So I mean, but as you see, resolving conflict makes it just so you can get back to having the fun. Good times with your partner as fast as possible. Now, again, if you're out there trying to keep score and see who's winning, I don't know what those points do for you. I don't know where you get to cash them in.
You cash them in by yourself.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can go to that window and say, yeah, turn all these blue chips into what? I don't know, but you can have all of that.
And as they say, happy wife.
Happy life.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just remembering the sign you have in your she shed.
Yeah, I got the sign, but I didn't make that up.
All right.
Because it does make sense.
Strange, there's no equivalent for the guy, but okay.
There really isn't.
I guess husband just doesn't flow off the tongue.
Yeah, it doesn't. There's nothing that rhymes with that. Not at all.
Well, okay.
So where are we on our time?
We are 28 minutes in.
Okay.
Who's recording?
Okay. Well, one of the things I wanted to definitely say thank you for everyone who continues to view our podcast. It's very helpful to us.
Oh,
it's like it's therapy for us, and it also makes me proud because I enjoy talking about you and I enjoy talking about us. I'm always honored to be in your presence and honored to be in a conversation with you or touching you or anything like that. So bringing it to the world just kind of puts that cherry on top.
Right. And for the longest, we've been saying we need to bottle what we're doing and put it out there.
If only.
Yeah, I know. But this is the, I guess, the easiest way to get that done.
Yeah, yeah. And we really invite your comments.
Or topics of discussion you'd like to see us tackle.
Yes, and if you are someone that is interested in being a guest, we can actually discuss and have you on as a Zoom you in or
Zoom
something.
you in,
Yeah,
in person.
mm-hmm. We'd be very happy. So please, when you watch our videos, make sure you click like, subscribe to our podcast. And I hope that we hear from you soon with some comments and some suggestions. And you'll be hearing back from us next week.
Yeah, when the stars align. Good night, y'all.
Bye.